live now.
Leviticus 21.
21.
Let me know how the internet still playing up.
Seems to be right now. Yeah, the room's empty at the moment.
Let me just wait for one.
Leviticus 101. Ya'amar Yahweh.
No, it's in the English database. What's it called the time? No,
You got your path from London. Ya'amar Yahweh al Mashah Amar al Hakaha Nayam Banaya Aharan wa Amaya Alahayam Lanapash La'a Yatama Ba'ayim Mayan Kaya Nasha'ara Rawa Hakwa Alayawa Wa'amawa Wala Abaya Wala Bana Wala Batawa Wala Akaya Some verses. Waba Akaya Habata Wala Hakwa Baha La Yawa Ama La Hawata La Yash La Yatama'a La Yatama'a Ba'ayil Mawa Laha Ka Lawa La Yakwara Ka Kwaraka Bara Asham Wapa Ata Zakwanam La Yaga Lakawa Wa Baba Sharam La Yasha Kawa Sharata Slakia Kodashim Yahawa Yawa La Ha Yaham Wala Yaka Lalawa Sham Alahayam Kaya Ashaya Yahawa Lakam Laha Yaham Ham Makwarai Yabam Waha Yawa Kodash Asha Zana Waka La Yakwakawa Wa Asha Gara Washa Ma'ayasha La Yakwakawa Kaya Kodash Hawa La Ha Yawa.
English. Anybody online?
4. In English, and the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests of the sons of Aaron.
We're reading that in Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests of the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall be none defiled for the dead among his people.
That says, speak to the sons of Aaron. Now the sons of Aaron, they was the priests. So it says, none shall be defiled for the dead, meaning if you was a high priest in the area, if someone died in your family, only for certain family members, you could go to their funeral. For certain other people, other people that, you can't go to their funeral because you're a priest, and once you go to a funeral, you're unclean for 7 days. So being a priest is a big job. You're in charge, you're over people, you're in charge of the sacrifices, you go to the temple and so forth, and for you to have 7 days off is a long time. So the Lord was saying, don't be defiled for the dead. So if someone other than a close kin family member dies, you can't be defiled for that person. You can't go to that funeral. Go ahead. Because if you did go to that funeral, there'll be, like, if you're a high priest over a city and you go to a funeral, there'll be no high priest over that city because you'll be unclean. You wouldn't be able to do the sacrifices. You wouldn't be able to go in the temple. Go ahead.
Verse 2. But for his kin that is near unto him. But for his kin that is near unto him.
So it says, but for his kin that is near unto him. So you can be defiled for your kin which is near unto you. It's going to let you know whose funeral you can go to. Go ahead.
That is for his mother.
So you can go to your mother's funeral if you're a priest. Go ahead.
And for his father.
And your father's funeral.
And for his son.
And your child's funeral.
For his daughter.
And your daughter's funeral.
And for his brother.
And your brother's funeral. So you can go to close kin's funerals. But some nigga you went to high school with, you can't go to his funeral because you're going to take too much time off from the work of the Lord, because you're going to be unclean for 7 days, and 7 days is a very long time in a priest's life, because all the work you have to do, all that work will be at a standstill because you're going to be unclean. You can't go in the temple and you can't get the work done because you're unclean because you went to the funeral. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And for his sister, a virgin that is nigh unto him.
And for his what?
Sister, a virgin that is nigh unto him.
And it says for his sister, a virgin who is nigh unto him. And this sister, your sister, she can't be married,
which have had no husband.
Which have what?
Had no husband.
It says which have had no husband. So you can go to a funeral in that case if she's had no husband. Go ahead.
For he may be defiled.
For what?
For he may be defiled.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people.
It says he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people. Now, if you're a chief man, that means you're in a high position. That means you're a man who actually makes things happen, a man who's relied on, a man of reputation, meaning you're a man who makes movements, like the generals, the captains, and so forth. And this is why, if we could get me Luke chapter 9, verse 59 real quick.
Yeah, hold it.
Yeah, hold that there. Get me Luke chapter 9, verse 59.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you what Jesus Christ said. Luke chapter 9, verse 59 and verse 60. It says, being a chief man, you can't go read that for me.
Luke 9:59.
Yeah, go ahead.
Luke 9:59. And he said unto another, follow me.
And Christ said, follow me, go ahead.
But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father.
And what did Peter say?
Suffer me first to go and bury my father.
So he said, so the word suffer is Old English for allow me. So he said, allow me first to go and bury my father. Now, Christ is quoting the law right here. Read on what Christ said.
Verse 60, Jesus said unto him, let the dead bury the dead.
Christ said, let the dead bury the dead. You know why Christ said that? Because Christ is saying, if you go to your father's funeral, you're going to be unclean for 7 days, and we got work to do. My ministry is short, and we got a role. So Christ is saying, let the dead bury the dead, meaning let the people who ain't in the truth, who are spiritually dead, let them handle the funeral. But you're going to be a chief man, and the chief man, he can't take no days off because there's work to do. Go back to Leviticus chapter 21, and where we left off. So Christ is telling Peter, let the dead bury the dead, meaning let the people not in the truth, let them handle the funeral, but you're going to be a chief man. Like right here it says if you're a chief man, you can't go. Go ahead.
Leviticus 21:4. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief man.
But he shall what?
Not defile himself, being a chief man.
And Christ basically told Peter, yo, you can't go because you're a chief man, and if you go, you're going to defile yourself, and that's 7 days off. 7 days off is a long time. Damn, people go on vacation for 7 days. So 7 days off from the work of the Lord is a long time. The amount of things people can get done in 7 days. So for you to have 7 days off, a very long time, go ahead.
To profane himself,
to what?
To profane himself,
to make himself unclean, dirty, so forth.
Verse 5, they shall not make boldness upon their head.
They shall what?
Not make boldness upon their head.
They shall not make boldness upon their head. Meaning you ain't supposed to be getting no Gillette razor and that white cream that they put on there, and peel it all off. You shouldn't be doing all of that. It says you shouldn't make boldness on your head. So you shouldn't be having your head bold like, what's that man's name from My Wife and Kids? Just a bold. What's his name? What's his stage name?
Michael Kyle.
Yeah, don't be bold in your head like Michael Kyle. Tyrese and all of that. You ain't supposed to make baldness upon your head. You're supposed to have hair on your head and no baldness. Go ahead.
Neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard.
Neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard. Neither should they have a goatee and all of that stuff. Neither should you shave off this part and just keep this part. Neither should you shave off all of it. It says you shouldn't shave off the corners of your beard, meaning you shouldn't line it up. It seems to be the trend nowadays, men lining up their beards. The Bible says you ain't supposed to mar the corners of your beards. You ain't supposed to line up your beards. You're supposed to keep that natural.
Nor make any cuttings in thy flesh.
No what?
Nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
You ain't supposed to make cuttings in your flesh. Because only Egyptians make cuttings in their flesh, and we ain't Egyptians. So the Lord here is saying we ain't supposed to make no cuttings in our flesh. We ain't supposed to get no tattoos. We ain't supposed to put no tribal scars on us and all of that so forth. It's not our culture, it's not our customs. This is the Lord saying we ain't supposed to do these things. Go ahead.
Verse 6. They shall be holy unto their God.
They shall what?
Be holy unto their God.
They shall be holy unto their God. They shall be separate unto their God. So here we're telling them they should be separate to God.
And not profane the name of their God.
And what?
And not profane the name of their God.
You're supposed to profane the name of your God by worshipping idols, by mixing it with Allah, calling Allah and all these next kind of stuff. You're supposed to profane his name to it.
And for the offerings of the Lord made by fire and the bread of their God, they do offer, therefore shall they be holy.
So it says, because they do the offerings of the Lord, the offerings made by fire, they shall be holy, meaning they shall be separate, meaning you're doing the offerings of you're a priest of the Lord doing the offerings. I mean, if you're shaving off your hair bald and you got your face lined up, how am I supposed to know that you're separate or that you're any different to how am I supposed to know that you're any different to RuPaul? I'm gonna know there's any different between you and RuPaul if you're shaving off your head and shaving off your beard. Go ahead.
Verse 7. They shall not take a wife that is a whore.
They shall what?
Not take a wife that is a whore.
They shall not take a wife that is a whore. Meaning, you can't have Black China. You can't have, who else is a whore? You can't have Black China. You can't have Beyonce. You can't have, give me some better names. You can't have Nicki Minaj. Who else is a whore? Like, you can't have one of these whores. I mean, imagine you're a priest of the Lord, and you just married a whore that's twerking, that's wearing some netted tights with all their behind showing, and you're a priest of the Lord. That's why the Lord said you're supposed to be separate. You can't take a whore. You have to take a woman who's never had sex with a man, who's a modest sister. This is the law for the Levite priests, the sons of Aaron. Go ahead.
Or profane. Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
You know what?
Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
Now, this was at the time when people used to find something unclean in a woman and give her a bill of divorce if they didn't want it. You can't put away your wife now. You can't give her a bill of divorce in this day. But it's saying the priest, they couldn't take a woman that's been put away. So if there's a woman and she's received a bill of divorce from her husband, as a priest, you can't take her. You've got to get that. You've got to get that woman whose legs ain't never been open to no man. You've got to get that woman who's never had sex with no man. You can't get a woman who's had sex with a man and just give her a bill of divorce. Or you can't get some woman that's swinging from a pole and you're doing your sacrifices Saturday morning and she's swinging from a pole Saturday night. You can't get that kind of woman. Go ahead.
For he is holy unto his God. For he is holy unto his God.
The reason you can't do that is because he's holy unto you, God. Go ahead, sir.
Of ban Joshua.
You should be in the Hebrew at verse 8.
Chapter.
Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 8. Verse 8.
Kaya ata bakam yakwadasha taiwa abaha yak yawa makwabahar
Makwa, Mr. Zah,
makwa.
Zah, this is Zah. Yeah, no, that's the thing, this is Zah. No, that's the yup. Yeah, go ahead.
Kwadash Yahawa.
That's the that was it.
Oh yeah. Pak Kau Ya Kwada Wash Kwadash Anya Makwadash Kam Yahawa.
No, so it's the
Wabat Awash Kahan Kaya Takar Ba'aina Wat At Ra Ya Ha Haya Maka Ha Hata Ba'ash Tasha Ba Hat
terrible. Go ahead.
Hagad Yab Yahawa Ash Yawa Tazak Ma'aka Waya I Ashaya Shamana Yahawa Wama Ba'a Ata Yada Wa Ba Pasha Ta Paasha Wa Ata Ha Bagada Ya Ha Ma
English.
And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, take Aaron and the sons with him, and take the garments and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams and a basket of unleavened bread.
No, have you got the other one? Crop one. Crop it, can you use the crop one? This one here is, yeah, that one's too much. That one's too much scrolling, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's reading around then, and Leviticus 21 verse 8.
Thou shalt sanctify him, therefore, for he offereth the bread of thy God, he shall be holy unto thee. For I, the Lord, which sanctify you, am holy.
And what? Read that again.
For I, the Lord, which sanctify you, am holy.
If I, the Lord, which sanctify you, am holy. Now the word sanctify means to cleanse. The Lord saying, listen, I'm separate, and I'm gonna make you separate. Go ahead.
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself, go ahead.
by playing the whore,
By what?
playing the whore,
By what?
playing the whore,
She profane herself by playing the whore. Now, her playing the whore is her father's out doing his priestly work. She knows her father's priestly work is, say, 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. So she's inviting different men around while she knows her dad's out. She's playing the whore in her dad's house. She knows her dad's a priest, and she's just there up his name because people's gonna be like, oh, well, her dad's a priest and I'm doing such and such with her. Go ahead.
she profaneth her father.
She what?
Profaneth her father.
And you profane your father when you do these things. Go ahead.
She shall be burnt with fire.
She shall be what?
Burnt with fire.
And back in this day, if you played the whore and profaned your father's name as a priest, you would be burned with fire. You would be burned with fire. You seen that Terminator scene in the beginning where all that fire comes down, you'll be burned with fire. Read that again.
And if any daughter of any priest,
So it says, if any daughter of any priest, go ahead.
if she profane herself by
profane herself by being a whore, go ahead.
by playing the whore, she profaneth her father.
And you just bury up the father's name, go ahead.
She shall be burnt with fire.
So she shall be burnt with fire.
And he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured.
So it says he's his high priest among his brethren, meaning this man is over all of them, and his head was anointed with oil, then was given that high priest position. Go ahead.
That is consecrated to put on garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes.
And he's supposed to uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. Now, to rend the clothes, people used to, back in the days, you went for a bad situation, people used to rip their clothes. You see that when people rip their clothes for parts that stuff. Obviously, you wouldn't do that nowadays because clothes are so expensive. You rip them, try to take them and get them all sewed up again. And go ahead.
So neither shall he go in to any dead body.
It says, neither shall he go into any dead body, meaning his high priest, somebody dies, he can't go in there because he's high priest over the area. He calls the shots over the area. So if he's unclean, who's going to call the shots? If he's unclean, the city that he's over is going to be in chaos because there's going to be no high priest for 7 days. Now the high priest, he carries out the law. He decides what you do. He decides if you live or die. He goes by the law, opens the books and be like, all right then, this man done this act according to the law. We're supposed to stone him. But if he's unclean, he can't go into the holy of holies and he can't offer the sacrifices for you. If you do a trespass offering and so forth, trespass, he can't do these things for you. If he goes into a dead body, go ahead.
Nor defile himself for his father or for his mother.
And it says this one can't defile himself for his father or his mother. I mean, he can't go there. He knows go ahead.
Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God.
Neither shall he what?
Go out of the sanctuary or profane the sanctuary of his God.
And he can't go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary for his God. He can't go to a funeral, then come to the sanctuary. He can't do that. Because if he does that, he will die. Like in the, what scripture is it where it tells you, at least to put bells on the priest's garment. The priest was going to the temple. If he was unclean, the bells would start, so he used to tie a rope to him because not anybody could go in there. If you go in there and you're not a priest, you drop dead. So when the high priest used to go in there, he used to put bells on his garment and tie a rope to him, and then when he used to walk and move around in the temple, you'd hear the bells ringing, which shows, okay, he's alive because he's moving. But if those bells start ringing, that means that high priest is dead. So they'll pull him out by the rope, because not anybody could go in there, because if you try to run in there, you're going to drop dead too. So that's why they put the bells on their garment and tie a rope to them. Go ahead.
For the crown of the anointing oil of his God is upon him. I am the Lord, and he shall take a wife in her virginity.
And he shall what?
Take a wife in her virginity.
It says, and he shall take a wife in her virginity. Go ahead.
A widow, or a divorced woman, or profane, or an harlot, these shall he not take. But
Read that again.
a widow,
So it says a widow,
or a divorced woman,
or a widow is a woman whose husband has died. Go ahead.
or a divorced woman,
Or a divorced woman, a woman who's been given a bill of divorce. Go ahead.
or profane,
Or what?
profane,
Or profane, or a hoe, or what so forth. A whore,
or a harlot,
or a harlot. Go ahead.
these shall he not
It
take.
says, these shall he not take. So these is the kind of women a priest can't take. Read that again so we know what kind of woman.
A widow, or a divorced
a
woman,
widow, or a divorced woman,
or profane,
or profane,
or a harlot,
or what?
a harlot,
Or what?
harlot.
And this is why ain't no brothers in the UPK picking up no harlot.
That's right.
Ain't no brothers in the UPK picking up no hoe from the strip that works in the strip club or is playing the harlot or a whore. It says this is the kind of women the priest can't take. Go ahead.
These shall he not take.
These what?
Shall he not take?
These what?
Shall he not
It
take?
says these shall he not take. So you can't be taking the kind of women. Go ahead.
But he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
Go read that again.
But he shall take a virgin of his own people to
It
wife.
says he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. You must take a woman who ain't dealt with no man as a priest. Go ahead. One more verse. Go ahead.
Neither shall he profane his seed among his people, for I, the Lord, do sanctify him.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron, saying, Whosoever he be of the seed in their generations, that hath any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God.
So it says, if there be any man who has a blemish, meaning anything wrong with him, it says a crooked back, flat nose, an eye missing, so forth. Any blemish, you can't go in the holy of holies. This is why Christ was a lamb without blemish. Like you see, when you used to do sacrifices with lambs, you couldn't offer a blemished animal to the Lord. The Lord wanted the unblemished animal. He wanted the best, the unblemished animal. And this is why a man who's got a blemish can't go into the holy of holies. You can't do the priestly way.
For whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach a blind man.
Oh,
A blind man,
yeah, it says a blind man. So if you're a blind man, you can't do it. Go ahead.
or a lame,
Or what?
lame,
Lame means like disabled or something, like someone who can't really walk too good, talk too good, so forth. Go ahead.
or he that hath a flat nose,
Or he that what?
have a flat
Or
nose,
he that have a flat nose. So if you got a flat nose, you can't even do it. Go ahead.
or anything superfluous.
Let me see. Superfluous. That's an old word. Read that.
Anything superfluous.
Flat nose don't be like curved black nose. It's like a disease where like the nose expands. You see people got noses and that's that nose.
The open nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bumpy ones in it.
And words flowers, it means something expansive. People got like big hands that smell. So,
Yeah, superfluous basically it means you could say big, like the brother just brought out flat nose, spots all over your nose and face, and superfluous like someone who's got something abnormal. You see those people got abnormal, like a big tumor on their face. One hand's bigger than the other, and so forth. Things like that. That's the superfluous and the blemish and so forth. Right?
Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed.
It says, oh, a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed. And if you got a broken foot, broken hand, you can't take up that position. Go ahead.
or a crooked back,
or a what?
crooked back,
Or a crooked back,
or a dwarf.
or a dwarf. A dwarf is a midget. I ain't seen a black dwarf in forever. Everyone's seen a black dwarf. You ain't seen one in forever. I ain't seen one in forever. But if you got any of those conditions, you can't go to the Holy of Holies. Go ahead.
Or he that have a blemish in his eye.
Or he that have a blemish in his eye, give me an example of a blemish in his eye.
Some people got eye patch on their eye, one eye.
Yeah, like say something like your eyeballs and so forth. Like there's some people that have one eye, like when you look in this, oh right, like what's the name, fetiwa? Like fetiwa, like that's what it's talking about. If you have a blemish in your eye, go ahead.
Or be scurvy.
Or be what?
Scurvy.
Scurvy is like it's like a disease. I'm sure it's the some that affects his skin in it. There's some scurvy diseases that affects his skin.
I'm sure it's mad. Or scurvy or scabbed.
Yeah, that's scabbed. Like if you're full of scabs and sores and boils, you can't do this. Go ahead.
Or have his stones broken.
Or have his stones broken. Now stones is your testicles. So if you've got them, if you've got them balls broken, you can't do this way. Go ahead. You can't go in the Holy of Holies if your stones ain't in order. Go ahead.
No man that have a blemish of the seed of Aaron shall the priest slacker. No man that have a blemish of the seed of Aaron the priest shall come nigh to offer the offerings of the Lord.
So it says no priest of Aaron who have a blemish can't come and offer. Read that again. Offer what?
Offer the offerings.
Yeah, you can't come and offer the offerings. So if you've got any blemish, if you've got a blemish in your eye, you got a flat nose, boils, sores, scabs, you can't come and offer things to the Lord. To be able to offer those things, you have to have no blemishes. Go ahead.
Of the Lord made by fire, he have a blemish, he shall not come nigh to offer the bread of his God.
You shall what?
Not come nigh to offer the bread of his God.
So if you have a blemish, you can't come nigh to offer the bread of the Most High. Go ahead.
He shall eat the bread of his God, both of the most holy and of the holy. He shall only he shall not go into the veil, nor.
So it says he can eat the bread, but he can't go into the veil. Now the veil is where you would offer up them sacrifices. Go ahead.
Nor come nigh unto the altar.
No, come nigh unto the altar. You can't go near unto the altar if you got any of those blemishes. Go ahead.
Because he have a blemish.
See, because he what?
Have a blemish.
Because he what?
Have a blemish.
Because he have a blemish, he can't go to the altar and he can't offer up the sacrifices. But he can eat. It says he can eat, but he can't. He just can't do that part. Go ahead.
He that profane not, slacker, that he profane not my sanctuaries.
That you don't profane the sanctuary, that you don't make the sanctuary unclean there. He said, go ahead.
For I the Lord do sanctify them.
For I the Lord do sanctify them. The Lord said he cleanses them. Go ahead.
And Moses told it unto Aaron and to his sons and to all the children of Israel.
So that was an order right there. The Lord told it to Moses, and then Moses went and told it to Aaron, and then they told it to the children of Israel. The Lord just didn't jump over Moses and go tell the children of Israel like how all these other fake Israelite groups, what they try to do. They try to jump over the UPK and think they can teach and think they can hit the streets, and when they haven't been given no orders whatsoever. All the orders come to Commanding General Yohanna, and General Yohanna sends them orders down, and then they go down from the generals to the captains to the officers to the troopers. That's how the orders go. You go ahead and anyone that. Yeah, what time did it finish? 10 past. 10 past. All right, then we're gonna get to the prayers and the announcements. It was running late today because we just got the new internet put in. It seems like the heathens didn't want the internet to work for some reason. It seems like he tried to put in the wrong internet box, but you know, we figured it out. Also today, we got the lecture, how white supremacy affects black people and world dominance. Come down to that lecture and you're gonna hear some heavy information. You're gonna hear some heavy information that you've never heard of in your life. If you still think that the white man loves you and there's equality, once you see this lecture, you're going to realize that there's no equality and there's no love for black people, and you're going to realize that white supremacy has dominated the whole world, and how they dominated the whole world. It's a heavy lecture, man. You need to be in the lecture. I believe we would be live streaming it, but it would be better if you could be here in person. What's the address? What's the address?
It's number 108 Church Lane.
Number 108 Church Lane.
Flat 4.
Flat 4. Try and get down to this lecture. This is a heavy lecture. It needs not to be missed. And also we have the Feast of Hanukkah straight after. That's going to be heavy as well. Also, big up to the sisters. Give them a hand, man. Big up to the sisters. Cooked up some delicious food which you're about to have afterwards. Cooked up some delicious food for the priests and prophets. Come in there, spend time with your brothers and, you know, get to know us. And sorry, go ahead, do this. Yeah, we're gonna play some music. Let me eat some food. Celebrate the Lord's feast day. Black man, you shouldn't be celebrating Christmas Eve. Wrapping up your presents, putting them under the tree, talking about, oh, this is the last day before Christmas with your Santa and all that stuff. What you should be doing is getting down to this lecture, getting down to this feast day. Forget Christmas. Celebrate Hanukkah. This is your feast days, and not Christmas putting balls on the tree and presents under there. That's for nonsense. Come and celebrate these feast days. But like I said, we open the time.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. Where the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, Hanukkah, today, 24th December, 2 p.m. All ACAM and ACAM check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in school, start wearing all black, black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf. So with that, rise and face the east, the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Balak, Taba'ah, Zaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arakza, Kawa, Haya, Washamayim, the Tandanawa, the Kam, Cow, Yuwam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Wala Ainawa, One, above, our Shinawa, Bayan, right, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, yeah, Waha Allah,